Now we have another Uyghur activist, Zubayra. He will join us. Zubayra is Chinese outreach director of Uyghur Human Rights Project. We have been working very closely with her for 2 decades. Now we have Zubayra.
Thank you, Dr. Yang Jelly and other friends who have organized this event. I wish to commend Citizen Power Initiative for China and the Chinese democracy movement who continue to build understanding among the victims of the Chinese communist regime. I am also glad to be among the groups that stand united against stopping China's brutal suppression of its own citizens. The 15th Interethnic Interfaith Leadership Conference is an opportunity for the Chinese democracy movement to let the world know we have different opinions and ideas from the current Chinese regime. We will listen to different voices as they define their aspirations for China's future. It is crucial to understand and support Uyghurs and other suffering ethnic peoples like Tibetans, Mongols, and other minority groups in China and amplify their desire to be free from colonial destruction and genocidal repression. As the world is witnessing now, Uyghurs and other Turkic people of East Turkestan are facing existential threat. The facts and the reality we face have proven many times that being different from the majority, identifying as an ethnic Uyghur, practicing a different religion, speaking a different language, belonging to a different culture, or calling our homeland East Turkestan as the key reasons we are facing a genocide. Chinese intellectuals perhaps foresaw the atrocities. We heard the voices of Liu Xiaobo, Pu Zhiqiang, Zhang Haitao, Liu Xiaoyuan, and Ilham Tohti long before China began to build concentration camps for Uyghurs. As history has proven, willfully ignoring warning signs and staying silent is a sign of consent to this Chinese government. This brutal regime responds violently to its own innocent people. Now, this violent regime's nightmares are reaching beyond China's borders, threatening the peace, freedom, and democratic values across the globe. Here, I wish to highlight some of the most concerning issues regarding Uyghurs. 1. Mass detention of Uyghurs and other Turkic people into concentration camps. Estimates put the number of interned individuals since 2017 at 1.8 million, almost 20% of our population. China has now shifted toward detention of Uyghurs into prisons. Now no one is spared, young and old, man and woman. First-hand reports of death and abuse are rife. Since so many adults are detained, this has dismantled families, tearing children from parents. Second, Uyghur forced labor. According to an Australia Strategic Policy Institute report, many Uyghurs are being forced to work in factories throughout China. ASPI identified 27 factories in 9 Chinese provinces that are using Uyghur labor transferred from East Turkestan since 2017, many of which are linked to major global supply chains. 3. Surveillance. Uyghurs live a prison-like life whether they are in real prison or outside of East Turkestan. To quote an engineer who worked on surveillance technology development in East Turkestan, in quote, Uyghurs are not considered human by the Chinese government. They are like mice being experimented on for research purposes. 4. Violation of Uyghurs' educational rights. China's bilingual education policy is designed to transition Uyghur students at all levels from education in their mother language to education in Chinese. The intent of the policy is to annihilate the living Uyghur language and is part of the larger assimilation project undermining the Uyghur people as the indigenous people of East Turkestan. 5. Travel and communication restrictions. Uyghurs face great difficulty obtaining passports, the ability to travel freely overseas, and now even the ability to move freely within East Turkestan. This has been reduced through the implementation of the grid-based management system, which covers every city with video, cameras, and police checkpoints. Communication between East Turkestan and the overseas has effectively been cut off. Simply talking to relatives overseas has become one of the reasons that Uyghurs can be sent to concentration camps. 6. Economic marginalization. East Turkestan is a strategic territory in the Xi Jinping's Belt and Road Initiative, an ambitious Chinese goal to place China at the center of the global trade routes. With this project, China hopes to both prop up its internal economy and establish itself as a bona fide superpower. However, Uyghurs are routinely denied access to employment, credit, and decision-making opportunities under the policy, effectively opening up the region to external exploitation. It is time for all of us to act. Preventing the genocide against Uyghurs now is the only way to other group will suffer the same. The only way no other group will suffer the same fate tomorrow. Here are a few actions that you can take. Number 1, educate Chinese people about the Uyghur situation. Counter China's gigantic disinformation and the misinformation campaign about the Uyghur crisis. As native speakers of Chinese, your message of delivering the truth to billions of Chinese people is much more powerful than any other voice. 2, mobilize and encourage Chinese lawyers and intellectuals to contribute to the worldwide campaign of preventing genocide in East Turkestan by the Chinese government. 3, contact your senators to urge them to co-sponsor the Uyghur Forced Labor Prevention Act, which is S3471. 4, endorse global campaign fashion brands to end complicity in Uyghur forced labor. The call to action on human rights abuse in East Turkestan in the apparel and the textile sectors is supported to date by 250 plus trade unions, investors, NGOs, Uyghur groups, and faith groups. Number 5, Beijing Olympics. The choice is simple: respect Uyghur rights and close the camps, or lose the 2022 Winter Games. No rights, no games. 6, donate to Uyghur Human Rights Project to support our work. We provide emergency humanitarian relief for Uyghur refugees in 2 concentration camp survivors to help tell the story to the world, and campaign to end business as usual while Uyghurs are suffering crime against humanity. It is impossible for someone to claim ignorance now, especially our Chinese friends. You are the people on the front line witnessing these atrocities. Every single call and every single signature counts. It is time to act. As Holocaust survivor Elie Wiesel said, in quote, there may be times when we are powerless to prevent injustice, but there must never be a time when we fail to protect. Thank you.
Thank you, Zubayra. 我用中文总结一下 ，Zubayra 他是这边的维吾尔族人权项目的主任，他呢讲了这个正在新疆发生的这个人权侵害的各个方面，他总结了6个方面，一个呢就是叫大面积的大规模的监禁。这个从2017年开始，对的这个大规模的集中营，现在呢，很多人已经转到监狱去了，转到监狱里，就是这个，虽然形势发生了一些改变，但是仍然是大规模的监禁。第二呢，就是这个强迫劳动，这个第3个呢是这个监控。无处不在的那种监控。第4个呢，就是语言权利，就是维吾尔族人民这个在教育权方面受到侵害，就不能说自己的语言。第5个呢，就是旅行以及教育上的这个限制，包括取得护照的权利。那么第6个呢，就是维吾尔族人的迅速的经济的边缘化。那么同时他提出来，我们必须行动。他还提出来行动的几个方面，6个方面。第一呢，就是尤其是中国人汉人应该将新疆发生的真实事实要告诉这个其他的中国人那么在国际范围内也要告诉其他的人。第二个呢，就是国际倡导，利用国际上各种的这个论坛，能够讲述在新疆发生的故事。第3，就是你给这个自己的参议员或众议员能够这个施加压力和游说，让他通过和维吾尔族现在的人权状况相关的一些法案。现在正在进行的法案呢，是这个叫维吾尔族强迫劳动法案第4个呢，就是不消费强迫劳动的这个生产的商品。尤其是棉花类的，大家要对此要非常的警醒。第5个呢，就是这个北京 Olympic， 就是2022年北京的冬季奥运会这是一个非常大的一个国际场合，我们要利用这个场合呢，为这个维吾尔族的人权讲话，就是没有权利就没有这个奥运会。那么第6个呢，就是希望大家为这个他们的人权工作进行捐助和支持。那么同时他对这个中国人抱有更高的希望，他认为我们是在前线，而且是和我们最直接的相关，所以我们的这个表现呢，可能是至关重要的。好，那现在看看 Now we have open for question for Zubayra. Do you have now I cannot see there may be a technical problem, Daniel. There's no question list in chat box and Q&A here. So Daniel, can you help me with the technical problem here?
Dr. Yang, can you check on Q&A?
I checked on Q&A. I couldn't see any question.
On the top, there's open.
Yes,
So did you click on Q&A?
Yes, I do. Okay. This question is not for this panel. So I think, this discussion will continue. So because of time limit, I think we need to move to next panel. So let's see. Then we have, so Zubayra, we will continue our dialogue, conversation, and joint action. So for sure. So thank you so much for your message. Thank you so much. Yeah.